Knife Guy, and I'm back with another fun-filled video for you. Today is kind of special. I'm kind of highlighting a knife maker that I hold very near and dear to my heart. Because he's my friend. We're very close friends. His name is Hennie Pliessis. And I wanted to kind of share my little mini Hennie Pliessis collection with you by showing you some of his works. Now, a lot of these knives I can't remember the name of the models for these knives. In fact, from looking at the 5 of these knives that are on the table, there's only 2 knives do I really remember the name of the actual model of the knife. The others I don't remember, but these are customs. These are one-of-a-kind handmade knives by my friend Hennie Pliessis. 2 of them, as you can see, are engraved pieces, and I've talked about these knives kind of very little, during my time that I was, doing, when I was showing off the knives, because I was so excited to actually get them, that I didn't really get into how my relationship with Hennie Pliessis started and how this all came to be. Because, as a knife collector, you come across a lot of knife makers, and if you're lucky, you get to actually build a relationship with one of the knife makers, and this guy is very close to me. We're very close friends. We chat on Instagram at least every 2 weeks. And because of that, I wanted to at least show off his work and the knives that I have from him. At this point in time, he is the knife maker that I have the most knives from. I don't know if I'm actually ever going to get any more from Hennie Pliessis, but I can tell you that I'll be getting at least 2 more than what you see that's on here on this table. So I'm going to get right into this by just pulling out the knives randomly and talking about them. Hennie Pliessis is a very, very unique knife maker. Unlike most custom knife makers, some knife makers are, I don't want to say that they're organized, but they do have this thing where they actually have a particular model. And in that model, what they do is they change it up by making it a one-of-a-kind custom. So you can get like the same model with different scales, maybe some different, maybe some different things on it that will make the knife a one-of-a-kind custom. Hennie Pliessis isn't like that for the most part. He doesn't have knife models. He just makes a knife off the cuff. And it's usually a model that you will never, ever see again. Or if you happen to see that model again, it's going to be by accident. Okay, so, and that's just the kind of knife maker that Hennie is. I tried to get him to, hey, why don't you do what Trevor Berger does? He has the one model, he puts different scales on it, making it a one-of-a-kind. And I think what it is with Hennie is that he just gets bored if he makes the same model over and over and over again. I mean, putting different stuff on the knives to make it a one-of-a-kind, that's not enough for him. So he will make a completely brand new knife from scratch. So chances are, if you get a knife from Hennie Pliessis, it's more than likely that might be, at the most, maybe 1 of 5 of the same model with different scales on it. But then after a while, he gets bored, and he'll create every 6th or 7th knife that he does, it's going to be a completely different model than you've ever seen before. You know what I mean? That's just the type of knife maker that he is. I don't want to categorize him as the total art knife maker, but I mean, he just doesn't want to do where you make one knife and just put different scales on them. So I'm going to go through these knives one at a time. So let's go ahead and pull out a knife. This is actually the very first Hennie Pliessis custom knife I ever got. This one came to me at the Blade Gallery. I didn't know Hennie Pliessis at this time, but I saw this knife and it kind of just got me. I was like, my God, what a unique looking piece. And I think at the time that I got this knife, it was less than $500. I mean, because he wasn't well known at the time. In fact, he was trying to get his work out there. And so this knife is called the T. Griffin 86 model. I don't remember why it's called the T. Griffin 86 model, but that's what this knife is. That's what he calls it. So let's take a look at this knife. So what we have on here is blue fat carbon fiber scales on both sides of the knife, right? We have a sort of a recurved worn clip. That's another thing too. He'll shape the blades to whatever the hell he feels like. It doesn't necessarily have to be a worn clip style blade or a drop point style blade. He'll change it up. Yeah, he likes to make the knife as, I don't want to call it artsy, but as unique as possible, going for a unique look on all of his knives. So we have like a recurved, I guess you want to say Warncliffe style blade. I've never seen this type of shape on any blade before. The blade steel, I believe on this one is N690. Which is kind of it's a good steel. It's not a gray steel, but it's a good steel. The knife runs on ball bearings. The blue fat carbon fiber scales on this knife are just absolutely stunning. Really, really unique. And this is like one of his first knives that he ever made. He's never made this model anymore. You never see this model anymore. One of the things that's unique is this back bar. It's a raised back bar. Usually most back spacers, they're kind of flat. This one's, as you guys can see, is kind of raised. So he was really going... with this knife, it seems like he was trying to show people what he can do for you. So this is sort of like a showpiece knife. He wanted to show people what is it that he can do as a knife maker. And I think a lot of knife makers at some point in their career, because you're creating art, will make a knife like this. There's no particular purpose. It's not irregular EDC. They're going to make an art knife, and that's pretty much what this is. The action on this is absolutely spectacular. If you take a look at this knife from a standpoint of all the things that we normally look at on knives, the knife is centered very well. Perfect centering. He's perfect with his centering every time. We have a blue Damascus pivot and blue Damascus back pocket clip on there. Now, normally, if the knife maker was well known, this knife would probably cost you about $800. But at the time, he was unknown, not very well known, still trying to get his name out there as a knife maker. So he created this T. Griffin 86 so he can show people, hey, my name's Hennie Pliessis. This is my knife. This is what I do, just saying hello. And that's what this knife was. He's got very aggressive jimping on it. Not your normal jimping. It's not like very close together jimping, as you guys can see. It's pretty, aggressive, but it works. It works. Good, solid, no blade play whatsoever. This knife is as solid as a rock. It's a very, very unique piece. Yeah. And this was his first knife, I think. One of his very first knives that he ever made, the T. Griffin 86. Moving on, the next stage in Hennie Pliessis knives was to actually, and this is where it kind of sucks, guys, because I can't remember the name. There's a name for this model, and I believe he has made this model before. It's one of his signature models. I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, this is where the knives start to get to look a little bit more normal. It's a small knife. He's more into medium and small knife building, but he will build a large knife if you ask him to. As a knife maker, he'll build one for you. As you'll see in a minute, he does make big knives because I've got one here on the table. But in any case, this was the next custom that I got from him. This was sort of... also another one of a kind handmade piece again. This is a full-on one of a kind handmade piece. As you can see, we've got marble carbon fiber handles with the blue Damascus bolsters on both sides of the knife. We've got, again, another blue Damascus pocket clip. Blue Damascus backspacer on here. Really small knife, everyday carry. Damascus blade, very pretty. This one's kind of fun. I mean, I do enjoy this one. It's a really fun EDC. I can't remember the name of this one. Centering is beautiful. Again, runs on ball bearings. This is a front flipper. Unlike the other one, it was a flipper. This is a front flipper, which is my favorite type of knife, the front flipper piece. His front flippers are kind of raised a bit. This one, you can flip with your thumb, which is the normal way most people do it, but because it's raised, you can easily flip it with your index finger, no problem. Really nice, smooth action on it. Runs on ball bearings. All of his knives run on ceramic ball bearings. He doesn't do steel. He does ceramic ball bearings. They don't necessarily need to be oiled. You should oil them, but they don't necessarily have to be oiled. So yeah, ceramic ball bearings are just much more easier, much more nicer action. And I've said this before, ceramic ball bearings, the fact that ceramic ball bearings usually do not have shoddy action over time because you don't need to oil them, creates a smoother action than steel ball bearings. And the fact that you don't have to constantly oil them makes the action a lot better. So ceramic ball bearings are not necessarily put into a knife for smoother action, even though that's really just an effect of the action of the knife the ceramic ball bearings give you. Really, you use ceramic ball bearings for the longevity of your knife. It doesn't produce shoddy action, therefore you don't have to worry about constantly oiling them, because with steel ball bearings, heat produces friction. Friction produces heat. Heat produces shoddy action, which is why we oil steel ball bearings. With ceramic ball bearings, you don't have to worry about it. It's always going to be the same, going to be consistent. So that's the second Hennie du Pliessis knife that I got from him. Here's where we get into other brand new territory with Hennie du Pliessis. We're getting into engraved knives. Now, the engraving is done by Hennie du Pliessis' wife, Ilze. They are a husband and wife team. And in South Africa, there's actually quite a few husband and wife teams out there. I consider these guys really standouts in that category. You've got Andre Thorburn and his wife, his wife does the engraving as well. I believe there's Ida Mozart and his wife from South Africa also. They do, their own... to Bradley Rollins, I want to say hello. So thanks for supporting my channel. Sorry I didn't recognize you before. But anyway, yeah, Ida Mozart and his wife, they do engraving. But Hennie du Pliessis and his wife Ilze, they take it simply to another level, I think. As far as engraving, because Ilze is I'm going to call her one of the pioneers of engraving, where the engraving is being done at a level like this. She's definitely one of the pioneers of that style of engraving. This is very early on when engraving started to come into play, and engraving really got kind of popular. Really super popular, like 5-6 years ago. Ilze was originally an artist to begin with. She's a painter. I believe she did watercolors. And if Ilze's watching my video, this is one of the reasons why I would like to have you, on camera when I chat with your husband, because I want to know more about you. I want to know how you got started, but I'm going to continue this video anyway with the limited knowledge that I have of your work. She studied with Neil Ruse, who is an accomplished engraver. She learned the basics from Neil Ruse, but because she was an artist, she was able to take the basics of what Neil Ruse taught her, the very basics of it, and just go to town. And because she's an artist, she wound up going to town. So let's just take a quick look at this knife here. This is called the Kitsumi. yeah, the Katsumi mask knife that I got. As you can see, we've got a beautiful engraved female wolf on the front of the knife with yeah, I mean, if you take a good close look at the engraving, she really goes to town. You can see the sun rays beaming off the top. There's like clouds up at the top. Now, this is at a time when knife makers were still doing very basic engraving, and she was already going insane with the engraving, as you guys can see. Getting intricate details on a small space like this is not easy, but you can see, like in the background, the breasts of the wolf. There's hair on the wolf's arms. I mean, it's just stunning. Absolutely stunning. So she put a lot of engraved art on one side of the knife, and on the back side, she even did the pocket clip. Look at that. Look how cool that looks. It's just like right on the tip of the pocket clip there. It's nuts. How is she able to get so much intricate stuff on just a small amount of space? I believe there's like a flower at the top of the knife there. I mean, it's not. And then she does the pivot. Look at the pivots there. Look at that. I mean, there is just so much detail. I can't even bring it closer to the camera because it's going to blur what you're looking at. So I'm just trying to use the daylight here so you guys can see how good she is as an engraver. Now, keep in mind, this is like 5-6 years ago. They've got other knife makers that have pretty much followed, I don't want to say followed in her footsteps, but began doing more intricate stuff like she's been doing. And I'm not saying this because they're very close friends of mine. I'm saying this because they were literally one of the first knife makers to come out with engraving with this much intricate work put into it. I mean, it is a lot there. So anyway, back to the actual knife itself. I'm going to try and do this as quickly as I can. We've got black carbon fiber on the back of it. The front flipper is really unique. I would love to see this on my next Hennie Pliessis knife. He's got like a dual front flipper. Check it out. So you can see it's sort of squared off here on the front flipper. So you can do it with your thumb, right? Which is the way normal front flippers are made. But then he puts this little nub on the top so you can do it with your index finger really easily. Runs on ceramic ball bearings again. Right? No backspacer this time. We've got a total open construction on the knife. It's totally open all the way through. He just has 2 barrel spacers back there. Tonight, Sky, I'm going to be doing another wallet video, dude. Don't worry about it. It's going to take me a while to get back into these videos because I got to get more streamlined. What I mean is that, I got to start talking less and showing more. But yes, I will be doing another wallet video in the future. I've got quite a few wallets that I'm going to be doing. So thank you for reminding me that, Night Sky. I will do a wallet video. Don't you worry. So anyway, yeah, this is, it's got a nice drop point blade. Steel on this one is M390. He usually doesn't put the blade on it, but I believe this one, yeah, this one's M390 on this one. Really nice drop point blade. So this is the beginning of the engraving on it. Okay, moving on to the next knife. After the making of this knife, I told Hennie, man, you gotta make me a bigger one. Please make me a bigger knife. And I want it to be over the top. So the next knife that he made for me, here we go. This was the ultimate over the top, insane knife that I had him made for me. This is the only knife I own in my entire custom collection from any custom South African knife maker. And as you guys know, I am a big fan. That's my channel, the South African Knife Guy. I strictly focus on South African customs. This is the only knife that I have made for me by a South African knife maker with dragon steel on it. Look at that. I've never had dragon steel. I've always wanted dragon steel on a blade. He made this knife for me special, and this one is over the top, so I'm going to go over it a little bit. This is one of the very first knives you see where there's color the beginning of color. Now, from what I understand, excuse me, Ilze now does color more color. She's starting to do more color on her engraved knives than ever before, going for it as an art. But on this one, she did just pretty much only like the whisker and a little bit of the tail on it. And I thought that was good enough for now, because I really wanted to get more into more intricate engraving. So this one has a dragon on it. I got this one at Blade Show. She made this one. They made this one special for me at Blade Show. And then when they finished it, I went out to dinner with them that evening, and then they showed me, and then I got the knife. This knife actually comes also with the actual drawing that she used. I showed it in the video when I was actually highlighting this knife. How she put the dragon on it. What's unique about the engraving is there's two different contrasts. You got the black in the background, but not only is this knife unique in the engraving in that way, but it's also textured. It's a 3D engraving, dude. 3D engraving in here. In other words, if you run your finger across it, you can feel the difference between where the dragon is and the background of the night sky and the moon. They all kind of have a different texture, showing you that it's sort of like because the dragon is sort of raised on certain points on the knife. It's like raised a little bit. We have here on the top of the knife, what we've got is meteorite, which is actually space chunks from sky. This particular knife, I don't know what this knife would cost you if you were not friends of theirs, but they gave me a really, really great price on it. I think I got this one for like, I think I got it for like $1,200, which was a steal, because there's so much work put into this knife. It's even got, even the back spacer with the file work is insane that Hennie does on it. This is definitely a collaborative piece all the way through. I believe the engraving on the back spacer is done by Ilze. She did the back spacer on that. The pocket clip. What's special about the pocket clip, if you take a look at the pocket clip on the back of it, there's the back of the dragon. She made the pocket clip the dragon scale, the back of the dragon scale on there. So that's what makes this knife so special, is she lined it up with the dragon, so once the pocket clip is removed, you don't see the dragon scales anymore. So this was, at that time, one of the most over-the-top knives that she'd ever done at that time. She's doing way better than this now. And you can see like the whiskers of the dragon on the back, and it's two different engravings, completely two different engravings on this knife. It's not like she took this dragon and duplicated it on the back. She made a completely different dragon rising out of the water with the whiskers and the back of the dragon scales on the knife. All that work she did goes into the cost of the knife. And for $1,200, man, I got a steal. So, yeah. So moving on to my last knife with Hennie du Pliessis, and I'm gonna have to end the video. I told Hennie, look, for the next knife, I want like a big 3.6 incher. We can make it simple. I just want something I can use as an EDC. Very, very minimal engraving. In other words, just make me a really cool looking EDC, nothing over the top. And that's what he did with this one. This is the Ghost Fin. Now, this is actually one of his model knives. Now, again, even though this is a model knife called the Ghost Fin, unless you ask for it, there's a good chance you won't see this model again. You got to ask for it. He may not even remember what the Ghost Fin looks like, because every knife he makes is always a unique model. It's insane. But, like I said, if he likes the model knife himself, he'll make it again. I think this is one of those. I tried to get Hennie to have a signature knife model and name it either after himself or something, but he can't do that. He just doesn't do that. He's really a true knife making artist, you know what I mean? And maybe that's probably one of the reasons why his knives are not well known, because Trevor Berger, he's got the Lex K and the EXK. He's one of my favorite South African knife makers. Another close friend of mine is Clyde Challenor. He's got the Viper, and he's got like the Viper as his signature model knife. He's got a model knife that's like named after him, so people know his name, they know his work, they know what his knives look like. Hennie, no matter how hard I try to get him to do that, he doesn't want to do that, or he can't. He's a true artist, and he's a limitless knife maker. He'll do whatever he's in the mood to do, and he always pushes himself beyond the limits of what he can do as a knife maker, without any thought as to what it's going to cost him or if he's going to lose any money. So this is a red carbon fiber model knife that we've got here. Red carbon lava flow red carbon fiber scales on both the knife. We've got like a shield on it with the Filipino flag. I'm a Filipino. I asked him to do that, and so he put that on the knife. We've got a really nice drop point blade on the knife. We've got stone washed here, and then on the flats, it's nice and sort of got like that nice shiny finish on it, and we've got a really nice looking swedge there. This is a big sucker. The blade is 3.6. The action completely falls shut. I mean, the action changes with him too. He doesn't make the action fall shut all the time. It changes depending on the knife. But if you wanted like a regular EDC, this would probably be your best bet, the Ghost Fin model, because the ergos are perfect on it. There's no hot spots. Even the pocket clip doesn't stick out and dig into my hand there. Just a regular pipet, nothing fancy. I just wanted a really big EDC that I could use. And I've used this knife only twice since I got it, but I'll be using it more, I'm sure. And his prices as a custom knife maker, they're going to have to go up soon. But as of now, his prices are fairly reasonable for what you get from Hennie du Pliessis. Yeah, his knives are fairly reasonable. They're not too expensive. And if you're looking to get your very first EDC knife, contact Hennie du Pliessis. He's a great knife maker. His work is unsurpassed. I missed seeing him at Blade Show. Didn't get around to it. Because of the restrictions with the flying and the stupid enhanced driver's ID. I just didn't want to be bothered. And I'm not really enjoying flying anymore, so I decided to just skip it this year. Hennie went, and he said he didn't really enjoy it the second time around, and he's actually considering probably he may not go, but I told him, I think you're going to probably wind up going anyway next year in 2026. But, things were kind of rough this year. A lot of knife makers didn't show up at Blade Show, and he was kind of disappointed it didn't have the same vibe that it had last year when I went and he went. And, something was missing in Blade Show. Like, the feeling wasn't as fun as it could have been. But in any case, I let this video go on too long. Like I said, I'm trying to keep these things streamlined. You will very rarely see me do a video that goes a half hour. So in any case, I'm going to close this video out by saying this much. I've got 3 knives coming, all right? You guys are probably going to want to watch those videos, because those knives are production knives. I'm not going to say what they are. They're knives that have been around for a while, but because I'm trying to get back into doing my channel again, it's been a while, so I got, I wanted to, I got a little knife hungry. Right, so I got some knives, and not too expensive. One of them is sort of a high-end production knife. The other two, one's a really low-end production knife, and then there's a medium production knife. In other words, as far as pricing goes. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Check out Hennie Pliessis. He's a really good friend of mine. Very close friend of mine. We're really good buddies. And, you know, if you're looking to get a knife made by him, something unique, something completely different, go ahead and contact him on Instagram. You can check him out on Instagram at Pliessis Knives or Billet to Blade. Billet to Blade. Check him out. Check out his stuff. You can catch him. You can chat with him and say, "Hey, Omar, I saw your video that Omar did on your knives. I just wanted to give a quick shout out. I'm interested in getting a knife from you." You're not going to be disappointed by Hennie. He does fantastic work. If you can afford it, yeah, try for an engraved knife, because the two knives I have here are like nothing compared to what Ilze does now. You know, I can't say that they're going to give you a break on it, a break on their knife, but, you know, if you know, they may or may not, but, you know, if you've seen my video, give a shout out, and, you know, maybe, I'm not going to say anything, but, you know, maybe they'll give you like a little cut on a price. Who knows? I do have a relationship with them. I'm not promising anything because things are kind of tough right now in the knife industry, so they may not be able to cut you a break, maybe give you a little percentage off. When I mean little percentage, I mean very little. But, you know, if you're in the market for a custom knife and you got some cash, you're saving up some cash for your next knife, and I really mean saving up your cash, because you don't want to do what I'm doing, where you just go on a whim and put everything on credit cards and max them all out, which I have not done. But credit cards can get you into trouble, and you kind of want to just kind of lay low. And yeah, this hobby is, you know, going to make you insane. I'm sure there's people out there that are envious that I've got these works on the table. But believe it or not, the custom knife world, I don't care what people think. Not everybody's a millionaire, and not everybody can afford knives at this price. We do it because we're fans of knives. I'm going to say this a lot. We do this because we're fans of knives. And we're crazy people, man. We're going to go, if we see something that looks like this, yeah, shit, I'll put it on a credit card and go nuts and just pay for it later, you know. It happens, but once you pay it off, these knives are yours. They're works of art, and, you know, it's just it's a fun hobby. I enjoy it despite all the financial stress that it causes me. I can honestly say I haven't gone over the top in my spending. I'm actually able to keep it in check, and, you know, if you guys are fans of knife collecting and want to get into customs, check out Hennie Pliessis. He's a fantastic guy, a great knife maker. And I love pushing this guy's work because he is limitless. He'll make anything you want. You have no idea what the knife is going to look like. It may not be necessarily what everybody else is doing, but isn't that why we're into this hobby? Anyway, this is Omar, your South African knife guy. I'm going to sign off now. I'm going on 33 minutes now, just yakking away. Any case, check out my next video. I think you guys will like the next series of videos I'm going to do. Like I said, they're going to be production knives from production knife companies that you're aware of. And the video will not be this long. Thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate you guys tuning in, everybody that's in live chat with me. The 5 of you guys, thanks a lot for joining my channel. I really appreciate you guys on and giving me the time to talk about my knife hobby. And I just got off the Instagram with Hennie Pliessis, and that's why I chose to do this video at this time. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching, and you guys have a fantastic and great Sunday morning. It's kind of like dusky here in Tacoma, Washington. It's not really that kind of cloudy. But yeah, I'll see you guys later, and you guys have a fantastic and great Sunday.